Hey, good afternoon. Today is May 13th, 2022. We're looking at a 2000 tick chart for the E-mini S&P 500 futures market. We have a 21 EMA indicator here in blue, 9 EMA indicator in cyan, and a 200 EMA indicator in magenta. We use technical analysis, price action, overall market context in order to place our trades. Real quick, take a second, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you know exactly when I post these videos, and let's get right into it for today. Now, I want this video today to be a quicker video. Unfortunately, the market was moving fairly slow today. A lot of congestion with breakouts moved to new levels, congestion and breakouts to new levels. And I stopped trading. Let's see, right after I got this win here, I probably stayed just a little bit, but then I stopped trading. I just want to revisit the 3 trades. I was 2-1 today. And then after we're done reviewing the trades, I want to go and show you guys exactly how I enter these trades and how I manage these trades. I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so I would just want to go step by step and show exactly what I'm thinking, and we'll make it nice and easy for today. So as we normally do, we marked our level of resistance here at overnight highs, level of support down here at the overnight lows. Nice strong uptrend. We could continue seeing an uptrend as the day goes on. Now, if I zoom in here, this is a trade I was initially looking at, but I didn't like how big the bar was, so I didn't enter it. But the trade ended up working out perfectly. So we have a new low here with a first entry short. Prices push up. Second entry short that fails. Looking to catch stops. So I put my entry 1 tick above the signal bar, and I didn't enter it only because of how big the bar was. It was 19 ticks. ATR was like around 3.2, 3.3 for the day. So that was a relatively big bar. I ended up pulling my trade, but it worked out perfectly. That would have been a win. Additionally, if we show exactly what the MACD is showing around this time, there was a crossover, but I was noticing MACD was thinning out a little bit, so I was a little bit hesitant to go there. But if I had put my entry 1 tick above that signal bar, prices would have came up and given me the scalp. We had a short-term trend that was working out break, potentially looking for a new high with this new swing here with the first entry long prices come down. Second entry long, if there's a trigger above this bar, it was somewhat aggressive because I don't like entering when signal bars are slightly bearish like this, but I don't know exactly why, but I ended up entering this trade. I had my stop loss 1 tick below the signal bar. Prices came up for the scalp, and yeah, it was aggressive. Honestly, if I could go back, I don't think I would have taken this trade. We did have a short-term trend working down with a break move to a new low. I'm a part of a few discords, and I saw some people talking through this, and so I thought it was worth a risk. But if I was trading by myself, I wouldn't have taken it. You see the MACDs crossing over. I think I got a little bit peer pressured into taking that. It was a second entry long, it worked, but it didn't really abide by my rules. But I'm glad it worked out. As prices come up here, we have this new low here with a first entry short, and as prices pull up, we're looking for a second entry short to trigger, and it triggers above this doji bar. Now, I put my order above this entry bar right here, 1 tick above the entry bar, and what I'm looking for is for prices to come back up. I'm going to catch everyone's stop losses for the people that are trying to go short, and I'll ride that momentum up for a scalp. Now, I started to think a little bit as we continue to get more bars here. We never had a close below the 9 EMA, but I was thinking to myself, are there any other situations I could see myself in where I would take my entry out of the market before it triggers? And so I had this little note, pull entry order as MACD loses steam. If you look down at the MACD, you can see this bullish momentum is slowly going down, looking for a potential crossover to happen. It's something I need to continue eyeing out. We are going long directly into the highs of this channel. I understand that. And it is an aggressive trade for that reason. But if we're continuously seeing bullish momentum or in an uptrend, if the trade happens right away, I would think it's most likely to work out. But if prices continue to hold a little bit and we don't get that trigger right away, we have to pull that order out. And we have to be able to distinguish, okay, well, when are we going to pull the order out and why are we doing that? And so I'm just relying on this technical indicator down here. We're having this loss of momentum. That's when I pulled my entry order out. Now, the trade never takes place as prices eventually do close below the 9 EMA. And you can see the MACD crossing over as prices get somewhat bearish. But I was thinking, in other scenarios and other situations where the trade sometimes does work or you get trapped out, if MACD is losing steam, maybe pull that entry order out. We have a bit of consolidation here before prices have this new low with a first entry short looking for prices come up. Second entry short that triggers below this signal bar here. MACD is showing bullish momentum. I had my entry order 1 tick above the signal bar, again going long directly into the highs of this range. But I'm still trying to test some theories out, and so I had my entry order one tick above, and I didn't have to wait too long. Prices pulled me into the trade. I was catching the stop losses of everyone that was trying to go short. Prices came up before coming back down and stopping me out. So while my entry is one tick above this signal bar, above this entry bar, I should call it an entry bar, my stop loss is going one tick below the bar that I was entered on. So prices came back down to stop me out and then immediately pushed back up for the scalp. So that was a loss, unfortunately, but I seem to be on the right side of the market only because I was barely stopped out before prices pushed back up for the scalp. So still trying to learn a little bit more about these trades, about entering long into the highs of this channel, but for full transparency purposes, yep, entered long there and I barely had a loss. So prices pushed down and then pushed back up above the EMA, and now we're oscillating back and forth. And then my final trade of the day was here. We had this new low with a first entry short, second entry short, looking for that to trigger. It does trigger, so now you have a lot of people that are trapped trying to go short at the high of this range. I had my entry one tick above this bearish bar, and as prices came back up, I caught everyone's stops that were trying to go short. I caught them and I wrote it up for a scalp. 1875 is where I entered, and 2075 is where I got out. I'm going for 2 points. The only other thing to mention here is we did have MACD thinning out a little bit. We had slightly bearish momentum, and then we were getting a crossover into more bullish momentum. Now, the other way people traded this was we had this new low with a first entry short, second entry short that failed off the resistance level of this trading range. Rather than people waiting for prices to come all the way up here and enter one tick above this entry bar, this was their signal bar here. So nice bullish signal bar. As soon as there's a trigger above this bar, people went long to get the scalp. So looking back on it, maybe I shouldn't have been using a catching loss strategy. I should have been using a failed second entry short strategy where I'm entering one tick above this signal bar here. So it wasn't my best day of trading. I finished break even. But again, I'm continuing to learn. I'm continuing to train my eyes to see things for what they are. Ultimately, this week was a very good week, and we continue learning. Now let's spend the rest of this video looking for this catching stop loss strategy and talk about exactly how we're entering. So you can see there was a second entry short that triggered here. It's fairly clear we have an uptrend at play. Depending on how you see it, it might be somewhat difficult trying to find it, but you have some kind of channel in play here and potential overshoot off the top. But this is exactly how we're entering these trades, okay? So right off the EMA, this is the new swing. We have a first entry short. Prices are coming up, looking for a second entry short trigger, and this is what we get right here. Second entry short triggered. So from the looks of it, maybe this bar finished, prices came up and then reversed, but the second entry short triggered below this bar. And on this nice bearish bar, you have a lot of people trying to go short. What we want to do is help everyone that's going short out of their trades. So let's just say we were going to go short here. If we go short, okay, we're entering this trade. Where's our stop loss going to go? Our stop loss, if we're trying to go short, is going to go one tick above the signal bar. And so if I mark my stop loss as a short trader, this is where the stop losses are going to go. Now, of course, the trader that I am not going to go short here despite the room we have back to the EMA. I would prefer to, if I was going to go counter trend, I would want to see a lower high, nice bearish bar with room back to the EMA. So I'm not going to go short here. But what I am going to do is realize that we are in an uptrend. What I am going to realize is that there are a lot of people trying to go short here and that their stop losses are here. I want to catch these stop losses and ride the momentum up. So rather than going short, I'm going to realize there are people going short here. I'm going to go long, and I'm going to go long one tick above the entry bar, right? This is where everyone's stop losses are. They're trying to go short. I'm going to enter a long position one tick above this entry bar, and then my stop loss would go one tick below the entry bar that I entered on. So what I do is I get my buy stop limit order ready and I place it one tick above the entry bar. Now as prices come up, I would be in this trade and out for a scalp for sure because prices move up 2 points. So now I'm out for 2 points and I have a runner at play. As soon as I get scalped out, I take my stop loss and I put it break even. So now I have one trade that's scalped out and one trade that's acting as a runner. And my stop loss is break even, so I can't lose money. Then as prices come back down, It stops out my runner, but at least I got the scalp. So now, just by total coincidence, let's look at where prices are acting right now. So we were trading down here at the lows, and as we're pushing up, we're in an uptrend here. So we're looking for reasons to go long. Now notice that we have a new swing here, a new low here with a first entry short, second entry short if there's a trigger below this bar right here. All right, the next bar formed. We're waiting for a second entry short below this bar here now. Now we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Maybe the trade works out, maybe it doesn't. But if we rewind just a little bit here and notice what's going on. So we have its new lows, prices are coming up. First entry short, prices come up. Second entry short below this bar right here. So if we notice for a second what we're seeing, second entry short if there's a trigger below this bar. It triggers down before coming back up. For everyone that's trying to go short below this bar, where are they putting their stop losses? They're putting their stop losses one tick above the signal bar they entered on, or some people would put their entries one tick above the swing. Now, where's your stop loss going to go? If we're entering long, our stop loss is going to go one tick below the bar that we entered on. The reason for that is we respect the ATR. If there's more volatility, we have to increase our stop loss a little bit. We want our stop loss to be relative to the size of the bars. So prices come down, give us that second entry short, and as prices reverse, your entry is going to go one tick above where everyone has their stops. And this bar, it's an outside reversal bar. Prices tick down before reversing up. You are in this trade and your stop loss goes one tick below the bar you entered on. And as prices continue on, you're up and out for the scalp. Prices are moving from 1025 up to 1375 before prices come back down and reverse. So that's how you are entering those trades really. Now fast forward just a little bit here. Let's notice what's happening. So we have a second entry short that triggered. We'll see if we can get a live trade here. So we have this nice strong uptrend at play here. This is the swing here with a first entry short, prices are working up, second entry short. So this is the entry bar right here. There are people that are trying to go short right now and they're in pain. Where are they putting their stop losses? One tick above this entry bar. And so I put my stop limit order right here. So as soon as prices come up, I'm in this trade now. I just caught their stops. Everyone that's trying to go short, I just caught their stops. And my stop loss is going one tick below the signal bar. So that gives the trade a little bit of breathing room as we continue to charge our way up. I have one trade acting as a scalp and the other one acting as a runner. So we just trapped everyone that was trying to go short here. We caught their stops and now we're riding that momentum up. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit later in the day. It's 2:18 Central Time, so not a lot of people are trading. MACD is also very thin. This really isn't a trade that I should take, but for the purposes of the video, I'm showing you exactly how I'm entering and managing these trades. So prices are continuing to work up here. We're a few ticks away. And there's the 2-point scalp, and now my stop loss was brought up to break even. So now I can't lose money. I just made money on the scalp, and now I have a runner at play. And where do I want to put my runner at? That's when you look to the left and you see where a price is acting at. We have a high right here. We have some liquidity right here. So maybe I put my runner up here at the liquidity area. And then it's really your choice. How do you want to manage your runner? Do you want to move your stop loss up and put it below every bar here? You can go break even +1, which I don't necessarily recommend doing right off the bat. Let the runner kind of work a little bit, but we'll see how the runner plays out right here. Looks like prices are going to come back and potentially stop us out. And so yeah, just got stopped out. But that was a real trade with my actual account. I'm happy that it worked out this time. So I finished the day 3-1. That's a pretty neat way to end the week and this video. I'm really glad that worked out. But that's exactly how I enter those trades, how I manage them, how I find them. You can see this 9 EMAs trending very nicely with the 21 EMA. Prices are pushing above this 200 EMA. And the reason why I like going long and I have a long bias is because we're working from the lows here. Actually, I don't even think those are the lows. These are the overnight highs. Yeah, we traded up above the overnight highs, came back, tested this area, and now we're continuing to push up again. So that's why I have a long bias right now. But it looks like prices came to test this area. We didn't quite make it to this area of liquidity over here. So that probably was a better place to put the runner. But it is what it is. It was kind of hard to focus on managing that runner when I'm trying to make a video here. But really glad that I got that on video. You guys see exactly how I do it step by step. So I hope that you guys found that beneficial. I've been getting a lot of questions on it. I'm hoping that this addresses some of those questions, and I know there will be more questions, but this video was a good starting point. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week.